All right, so are we shifting to awards now, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
we'll do our like championship picks or whatever.
yeah. Sure.
Okay. All right. I hate this award because I think it's lost its meaning.
Which award?
The Most Improved Player award.
Oh yeah.
Victor Wembanyama is
Is
the
is the is
one.
he's the
I
odds favorite? Yeah.
hate this
Like,
award. I don't think writers would be that stupid though to have him be the number one. So I'm actually going to go with Chet Holmgren because Chet Holmgren, I think we all think and know he will be a really good player. However, the Thunder are going to be, I think, championship level good. And I think Holmgren's going to be a big part of that. And I think a jump in his play will be that. And because of the stupidity of this award and the fact that it shouldn't go to players like Chet Holmgren, because everyone knows Chet Holmgren is going to be good, I'm picking Chet Holmgren because that's who wins the Most Improved Player award. Players like him.
hmm. So for most improved, yeah, I agree. I looked at the odds last
And
night,
let
and I
and
was,
let me get this. Let me say this before you give your pick.
mhm.
Your pick will most 100% be the reason, be the player that should possibly win the category of player we're talking about. A guy
Mhm.
that maybe hasn't popped yet, but pops.
Right.
But that's the stupidity of this award.
Yeah, because who won it last year?
Maxi, right?
Uh, was it? Yeah, it was Tyrese Maxey when he was a 20 point per game scorer the year before, and now was a 24 point per game scorer.
We knew Maxi was going to be good when
It-
Harden left. Like
it-
he's just filled the minutes. Like
yeah,
fine. Like I'm okay with getting Maxi. Listen, I'm all right. I was more okay than most with that. It's
I thought it should have been Kobe White. I thought Kobe White was
yeah,
clearly
that's who it should go to. But like the whole Victor Wembanyama, he's the number one pick. What
exactly,
are you talking about? Jade
exactly.
Cunningham's on that list. Like why?
So I took Kaminga, because I think on the Warriors, I think right now there's going to be an increased responsibility, and I think he showed flashes last season of being a 20 point per game scorer. The key will be his ability to shoot the three. If he if that emerges, I think he's easily probably their second best scorer, and I think that will definitely get him some recognition for most improved. Will he win the award? I don't know. Probably not. There's no way they give it to Wemby. I know, we love Wemby and we're hyping him up, but there's no way he probably wins the Defensive Player of the Year award. Like they've already decided that basically.
It has to be a player, in my opinion, that pops. Like, wow, I didn't see this coming, or wow, I didn't kind of that. That's what it should be. Like, I didn't see Dante DiVincenzo doing what he did last year. I thought he could have been a
Mhm.
candidate. Some
Yeah.
players like that. That's what most improved player used to be. I don't know what happened recently where we're just doing players that should be that good, and they get it. So, all right. So I had Chad Holmgren. All right, let's just go into MVP because I have a player that's on the same team. I have Shea. I have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander winning the MVP. I think the Thunder are going to have the best record in the league, not the West, the league. And he's going to be the best player on it. He's going to be unbelievable. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is I think the best candidate to win MVP. A lot of people are going to say Luka. Luka's numbers are going to be insane. Probably Dallas is going to be in that top four. I get it, but they're not going to be record-wise better than the Thunder. And I think Shea's numbers are going to match at least in the regular season to Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I took Luca. I was basically between those two guys, because they're going to be the two best teams in the West. The Thunder could easily have the best record in the conference, in the league. So I understand that, but I feel like Luca has like he's had seasons capable of winning the MVP, like numbers wise, and I think eventually, I think this year they're probably going to give it to him because if he's really good again, and the Mavericks are in the top three in the West. I think they'll take him over Shy and look at maybe the Thunder's greatness being because of the team itself. Whereas if Dallas is great, it's more so looked at as because of Luca. But Shy is going to be great. He's going to average his 30, 6 and 6. He'll definitely be in there. It's definitely between those two guys. Some people think Tatum that he's going to be on some revenge tour and, um, that he'll have great numbers and they'll give him the MVP. I don't think so. Because the Celtics greatness is not because of Tatum. solely it's because of this that starting lineup and the whole piece. But yeah, I have Luka. I just think the numbers are going to be really great, better than Shy's, even if the Thunder are a better team.
Yeah, Luka's a good pick. I just think if you look at the history of who wins MVPs, it's usually the best player on the best team, unless there's some major context to the other one. So like Westbrook, say, with the triple double year. Luka, I just have I don't think it's a foregone conclusion Dallas is a top four team in this Western Conference. I don't. I think
That's
there's a
fair.
very big possibility. He's shown up out of shape pretty much every year. Here's another issue I have with Luka. Luka's been the favorite for MVP for like years, and it never happens. So that's another reason. Why is this year different? Is it because he went to the finals and maybe he's more hungry? Maybe. I mean, that could be it. I mean, I think that's a really interesting way to look at it. I'm just going with Shea because I think the Thunder, there's like no world to me, like no reality to me with the Thunder are not one or two.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would be stunned if they weren't one. Um, okay, defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I got Wemby. I mean, it's gonna be him
I got
probably.
Wemby.
Yeah, that's probably the
Why?
easiest one.
Because Wemby's the best defensive player in the league, and it's not going to be Rudy Gobert again.
For sure.
All right. Sixth man of the year.
Hmm. I have I have Benedict Mathurin winning sixth man of the year. Um, I think he's going to be a really big piece for the Pacers. He's not going to start, obviously, but there will be games maybe he does start for a little bit. He's going to play big minutes even though he comes off the bench, and that's kind of usually what the sixth man of the year goes to. Guys who play big minutes off the bench. Except for that year where I went to Brogdon instead of quickly, but I digress.
I thought about you boy Josh Hart,
Mm,
but I
I don't
think
know.
Josh
I
Hart
don't know if
I
the
think
numbers are going to
well
be as.
numbers are one thing, but also I think Josh Hart's going to start a lot of the season
Yeah.
because they'll have to because Leon Rose is an overrated GM and didn't get a center. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, Josh Hart's going to start a lot of in the beginning of the season because he kind of has to.
Yeah.
Um, um, I have Dante DiVincenzo.
Mm, yeah, that's
He's
good.
going
That's a
to
good
be
pick.
the sixth man of the year for the Minnesota Timberwolves because I expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to be a contender for the number one spot in the West, but likely two or three. I think they'll be very good, and I think he's going to be a massive part of it. And maybe even an X factor. Give me Dante DiVincenzo averaging around 18, 19 off the bench. And I like his fit with Minnesota.
The only thing I would say is Naz Reid won it last season, and it's
I think Naz Reid eventually starts on this team.
okay. That's yeah, that makes sense. Because if Naz Reid is also kind of in that same role, it'll
Yeah.
split kind of, But yeah, that makes sense.
No, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. But I have
Um, what's up? Us clutch player of the year? Do you even have one?
no
I hate
much
this
more
award.
here. Whatever.
This award is
Whatever.
dumb. Like, because it's so subjective. Like, what do they even use to decide this? Like, because if you use clutch points, because Curry won it last year because he basically led in like every clutch stat, I guess. But that was because the Warriors were in a lot of close games, and they were like 500 in close games. So like, does that really make him clutch?
I'm
Like,
gonna say it's Brunson. I'm
that's who I wrote. I have Brunson as well.
gonna say Brunson. That's just off the top of my head, by the way.
I mean, it would make sense. Like I could see Ant maybe winning it, Luka,
Mhm.
guys that like are the clear go-to guy in close games. Like, so it wouldn't necessarily be on a team that's really good because obviously teams like the Celtics, the Thunder, they have multiple guys they could go to. Um, so like a guy like Ant, Luka, maybe even LeBron. I think LeBron came in like second or third last year. Those are guys could the win clutch player of the year. They have a lot of clutch points, which is I think points in the last like 5 minutes of close games. So, but I went with Brunson just because I think he's going to be I think if we have close games, he's going to deliver. So he'll be the clutch player of the year.
Yeah, I believe Jalen Brunson, and also they live and die by him. Honestly,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
let me just ask you this: if Jalen Brunson's hurt, like, how do the Knicks do?
Not well. They don't do
Right?
well at all. I mean, the Tyler Kolek showed some
I
promise
like
that he
Tyler
can
Collick a lot.
that he can play. So, and Deuce McBride is obviously. He can run the point to an extent, so we wouldn't like drop off the face of the earth. And maybe first option cat back on the Knicks. It wouldn't be great, obviously, because he's everything we do revolves around him and his creation and his playmaking and shot creation. So it would be a struggle. The games he did miss, we were pretty bad.
Mhm.
So that would be really bad if he were to miss time. But for the most part, he's been pretty durable. He's played through most of the stuff nicks that he gets.
Mhm.
Hopefully he doesn't have something major.
Yeah. Rookie of the year was very difficult because this draft class like kind of sucks. Um, it could be the Atlanta dude, especially if Atlanta has a really good season.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
I don't think it'll be him either. I'm going with Reed Shepard. He's playing for, I think, a playoff team in the Houston Rockets. I think he's going to be a big part of it too. Um, there is a world where he isn't a big part of it, I guess, because they have a lot of good players on the team. But I believe he's good, and I think under Adoka, he's going to be even better, and he's going to be a real contributor to a playoff team, and the numbers I think will be there. And so, give me Reed Shepard as my rookie of the year.
Okay. I went Zach Edey. Everyone overthought the Zach Edey thing, that he wasn't going to be a good NBA player because his back to the basket style and he's super slow. But from what I've seen from him so far, he's kind of what the Grizzlies needed. They know Steven Adams. He's going to be a big that can really help them, be a lob threat. And if they do decide to go down to him on the block, he's really good at that. Did it all in college. He was obviously one of the best players in college basketball. So I think he's going to get the minutes because they don't have a lot of bigs. It's kind of just Brandon Clark and Zach Edey. That's kind of their bigs right now. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a four. So it didn't really work with him playing the five. So I think Zach Edey's going to get the minutes. He's going to get the shots that kind of requires. The problem with like this season is a lot of the rookies are going to be role players. Uh, I can't really think of too many that are going to start, especially the better ones. Um, so it kind of makes the award hard to predict. It's going to be a rookie that I think may not be one of the top three picks. Like I don't think Alex Sarr has a good enough season because the Wizards are so bad. Even though he's going to have the opportunity to score a lot, he's still kind of raw offensively. I'm not sure it's really going to come together as quickly as it will for some other players. Rob Dillingham, I wonder the minutes. He's really good. I think Rob Dillingham. It's a kind of a wonder why the Spurs traded him because I thought he would have been really good on the Spurs. Kind of being behind Chris Paul, and then eventually when Chris Paul retires, you start Rob Dillingham. But they do have Vassell and Malachi Bram, so I understand it. But I went with Zach Edey because I
Zach,
just think people have really doubted whether he's going to be a good NBA player, and I think it's just ridiculous. A guy that's 7'4" with his skill set is not going to be a good NBA player.
I agree, and I think he's on the perfect team with Memphis. I think it's a great pick. I really do. And if Zach Edey's cooking in the post, what broadcasters should say:
What should I say?
baked ziti.
That's good. That's good.
Heard it here first. That should be the nickname for Zach Edey.
Okay.
Baked ziti or high baked
Okay.
ziti. There you
That's
go.
nice.
Big ziti.
Uh, Big ZD. Yeah.
Baked
Baked
bake
ZD. Yeah,
baked
Big ZD. Yeah,
ziti.
that's good.
That's
I never heard that.
that's
That's good.
fully original.
That's good.
I think.
No, yeah, I have not heard that at all. So last but not least, what Coach of the Year is left,
Yeah.
right?
Go ahead.
Coach of the Year. I have Joe Mazzulla. Yep.
Same. I have Joe Mazzulla too, because I think the narrative on Mazzulla is different. And I think what he's done, I think you now look at is impressive enough. And I think if the Celtics are the best team, especially if the Celtics say, let's say, have the best record again, which is possible, I think Joe Mazzulla has, because Tibbs has won it before. Dagnall won it last year.
Hmm.
Could say Chris Finch, but I'm gonna go with Joe Mazzulla because he hasn't won it yet, and I think he's well deserved. He's a championship coach, and I think it would look very weird if they have another great regular season and he doesn't have that honor to showcase for that.
Yeah, fully agree. I think all the questions with Joe Mazzulla, championship kind of answers. And if they continue, if they have another really great season, it just doesn't make sense why he wouldn't win it.
What's the finals prediction?
Oh, right, right, right. Okay. So in the Western Conference, I have the Thunder going to the finals. I think they're just going to be really good throughout the whole season. There's a lot of questions for Western Conference teams. They're kind of the only one without a question, right? So I think the Thunder make the finals. And in the Eastern Conference, I have the New York Knicks.
Shocker. Uh, in fairness to you,
Hmm.
Knicks Thunder is a great series. I think. I think the fan bases are completely different, uh,
Hmm.
and I think that would be really fun, really cool. Um, but the other one is also really fun. I have Thunder Celtics. I to me the Celtics are the best team in the Eastern Conference. They're gonna have to be proved why they're not. And I told you before, I think even with the Knicks' many additions this offseason, there's a world where they're worse. And I gave you my reasons for thinking that. I do think they're going to be there. I do think they're the biggest threat to the Celtics. I don't think it's Philly. I don't think it's the Bucks. I think the Pacers are lingering, but I honestly like the Knicks' collective talent and roster does make sense. Like if they just get a rim protecting big, I see it. I do. However, are they going to get that rim protecting big? Is Mitchell Robinson going to be that guy? And questions about the health of OG Anunoby, questions about the jump shot and production of Mikal Bridges, in my opinion. And I think those are valid questions. Also, the health of Karl Anthony Towns. How's he going to play in the playoffs? He's now going to be the second best player definitively on a championship team. What is that? What does that look like? Um, how does Brunson look in the playoffs? Is he going to be banged up because of the load he has to carry in the regular season? These are all valid things in my opinion, which is why I don't have the Knicks over the Celtics. Could it happen? Absolutely. I think it could be really great for basketball if it does. Uh, but I have the Celtics in the NBA Finals, and I have the Celtics in 7 games over the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that's a tremendous series, and one I think the NBA needs.
Because the NBA Finals has been a little lackluster the past few seasons, right?
And I think the NBA Finals has lacked consistency in the finals, a consistent team that's in there. And I think we're shaped up a little bit here to have a Thunder going to be around there. I think you could have some interesting moments here. So I'm going with the Thunder and the Celtics, and I think the Celtics have the experience, more experience in the finals. I think a better I just think they've been there and they're more talented, top heavy,
Yeah.
uh, than the Thunder. However, the Thunder will be there probably next season, but I think Thunder Celtics is this year, and I'm going with the Celtics in 7 games.
Yeah. It's interesting that when we had,
Who wins the championship? Did you say?
yeah, it's tough. That is
Oh,
tough. That is tough. I
and
don't
then how?
know. I think the Thunder are the better team between the Thunder and the Knicks. The Thunder are a better team. Um, so it's really tough. That would be a really, really good series. I don't know, but I'm gonna think about it. Well, what I was gonna say is, uh, it's funny when we had those years with the Cavs and the Warriors when they played each other 4 straight years, everyone was kind of tired of it. And now that we've had 6 straight finals of like different teams all winning, everyone's like, you know what, we need another like big team to make it all the time. And now
Here's what I've learned is people just love to complain.
that's what it is, right?
And I understand like Cleveland and the Warriors finals became boring after a while for some, but look at it since. I mean, people want to say parody, parody, parody. Sometimes with parody, you don't get the best series, and we're seeing it lately.
Hmm.
I think you need a great series, and last year's playoffs stunk for being real. Yeah, like they were not
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
anticipate this year's to be better because it can't be much worse. So
That's
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, people are ripping the Yankees Dodgers World Series like no one wanted this. Really? Because are you gonna see the ratings of
Yeah,
these World Series? And you know who really needed that? Baseball.
it did.
Baseball needed that kind of World Series. The NBA is at a point right now where they really need two exciting teams that are that's really great, like a great quality World Series. Lakers Celtics is obviously the dream, but the Thunder have a nice fan base as well, and the Celtics are a big market team, and it's really just how competitive the series is. I think that's really what matters because Dallas Celtics wasn't really competitive at all. So
Nuggets Heat. Yeah.
yeah, Nuggets Heat. The Lakers one was the bubble. Lakers Heat might be good, but just in the bubble, it wasn't anything.
I
You
mean,
know,
it was clear the Lakers
Warriors is
the Lakers were
okay.
going to win that. The Warriors,
Celtics,
yeah, the
yeah,
Warriors was good. The Warriors Celtics was good. I liked the Bucks Suns.
Suns is interesting, but we know who really should have been in that.
That would have made it. That would have been even more interesting, honestly. If
Laker fans will tell you they should have been in the finals that year too. So, we'll
you
see.
know,
But,
it's true. Yeah.
and the Lakers Nets that would have been cool. But we'll take Giannis will take his one ring that changes everything in his career. Let's be honest. I mean, if he doesn't beat Brooklyn, if Brooklyn's fully healthy that year, what are we saying about Giannis at this point?
That's a conversation.
The
Because
conversation.
look what it's been since then.
And I will stand very tall on that hill that Giannis should be thanking the Greek gods. He has that championship.
Like to thanks James Boisits for joining me on this episode of Truish Hoops. Those are our NBA predictions. NBA season starts Tuesday night. Knicks play Celtics. Lakers play Timberwolves. Uh, I think Knicks win, but that's just
Of
me.
course, I will be watching that game.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game.
See, because if Bridges is bad versus the Celtics,
Oh man. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow Truish Hoops on TikTok. You can follow me at OZP Dan on Twitter. Thanks for watching the video. See you guys next time.